The smell of jet ski exhaust mixed with expensive perfume as Veronica Blackthorne stormed down my driveway, pointing at the pier I'd bought just 3 days ago. Behind her, a teenager in a red wetsuit was doing backflips off that very pier, spraying water like he owned the lake. The irony? Unbelievable. She waved a folder of legal documents, diamonds catching the morning sun, claiming my pier was suddenly community property, and I had 24 hours to surrender it. What she didn't know what no one did was that I was recording everything on 3 devices and that I'd already uncovered her $2.3 million embezzlement scheme in less than a week. Oh, and the father she thought had abandoned me? Malcolm Rhodes, governor of Michigan, watching this unfold live from Lansing. The kid on the jet ski? Her grandson, Preston, using my dangerous pier every afternoon for practice, leaving beer cans and energy drinks like breadcrumbs of entitlement. Meanwhile, she'd been collecting $500 a month from 73 households, promising maintenance that never happened, all while treating these piers like private yacht clubs for her family. In less than an hour, FBI agents would storm Pinehurst County Community Center. Veronica, her judge husband, and 6 board members would be arrested on federal racketeering charges. The family she'd been fleecing for years would finally see where their money went, and Preston would realize his national training, his custom jet ski, even his college fund had been stolen from neighbors. Let me back up a sec. 3 days earlier, I was standing in front of a modest 2-story house on Lake Michigan, holding the keys to my new life in witness protection. The marshals had given me 3 options after I testified against a major cartel. I chose this one for its isolation. The house itself was humble cedar siding, aging roof, but the 60-foot pier stretching into crystal-clear water was perfect. Pressure-treated, steel-reinforced, deep water access for boats up to 40 feet. Worth more than the house, and exactly why Veronica had been scheming to take it for 5 years. I'd barely unpacked when a pearl-white Range Rover crunched onto my driveway. Out stepped Veronica, mid-50s, pink tennis outfit, bleached bob screaming HOA president, flanked by 2 nervous board members. She rang the doorbell like it was a declaration of war. "Mr. Rhodes," she said, scanning me like prey, "we need to discuss your pier situation immediately." She pushed past me, wandering straight through my house to the sliding glass door, pointing at my waterfront like she already owned it. "This pier," she announced, "is community property. You'll need to sign it over within 48 hours. Out came the folder documents that looked legit at first glance, but screamed fraud to a trained eye. "I just bought this property," I said carefully. "The deed shows the pier is mine." Her laugh made my teeth hurt. Federal purchases don't override local HOA regulations. The pier has been community property for decades. Her thin veneer cracked further when I mentioned federal channels. She threatened me, name-dropping her judge husband, her sheriff brother, even the mayor. I stayed calm. "You have 48 hours to provide proper documentation. Now leave my property." Her face flushed, and as she and her entourage drove off, I knew the fight was on. Within an hour, I'd followed the money. Veronica's HOA collected $36,500 a month from 73 homes, $438,000 a year. Over 5 years, $2.2 million. Actual maintenance, less than $50,000. The rest funneled to Blackthorn Marine Development, LLC, owned by Veronica and her husband. They've been building a private marina empire while forcing waterfront owners to surrender their piers through intimidation. That afternoon, I saw the teens again, Preston and friends, using my pier like a stunt park, leaving trash, breaking boards, spilling gasoline. Hypocrisy at its finest. I recorded everything, cataloging the destruction. Then, a text from M.R. Malcolm Rhodes' me father, checking in. I replied, handling it. Don't intervene yet. The key word being yet. Next morning, 3 violation notices appeared on my door, totaling $3,750 for fake infractions. Pier height, kayak storage, environmental disturbances. I photographed everything. Then I visited neighbors. Dorothy Waverly, 2 houses down, became my ally, sharing documents showing Veronica's 5-year pattern of targeting federal purchase properties, forcing owners to surrender piers or sell at losses. Juan Smith's Kalskisti all suffered the same fate. She'd taken thousands, maybe millions, illegally. Then came escalation. A Pinehurst County inspector pretending to examine my pier. Always waterfront properties, he whispered. You might want a lawyer. Already done, I said. The threats intensified. Lug nuts loosened, security tested. More teens with jet skis returning daily. I went smarter, live streaming every stunt to multiple platforms. Viewers exploded. Agencies were tagged. Veronica realized she'd been broadcast. Live panic replaced her smug grin. She tried intimidation again. A cease and desist threatening $500,000 if I didn't delete recordings. Cute. I ignored it. Instead, I prepared for the HOA meeting, stacking my deck, federal evidence, live witnesses from past victims, and a text to my father. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., watch the stream. His reply, assets in position. Meeting night arrived. Veronica's allies filled the room, air conditioning mysteriously off, lights harsh. Preston and his friends in corner, still in wetsuits. She opened with a dramatic PowerPoint about unregulated piers endangering children. She lied with finesse, presenting my pier as dangerous while her grandson's stunts went unmentioned. She moved to confiscate at motion past, 24-hour deadline, applause from her Planet supporters. I stood, calm. Before concluding, let's review some evidence. I projected my recordings, Preston backflipping, trash, fuel spills, damage all time-stamped. Then financials, $2.2 million collected, $47,000 spent. Gasps filled the room. Veronica's smile faltered. I revealed my forensic accounting expertise, the federal crimes, and the pier's protected status. Board members edged away. Chaos erupted. Then came the cavalry. 6 Michigan State police officers. My father, Governor Malcolm, roads entering like controlled thunder. Veronica's husband and brother were already arrested. Federal warrants were being executed. FBI agents followed, handcuffing the board members. Residents, stunned, began sharing stories of harassment and theft. Preston, finally realizing the truth, slumped. I didn't know, he whispered. I assured him, your skills aren't tainted. You earned them. The money's dirty, not your effort. Mrs. Waverly encouraged him to give back to the community. The following weeks were transformative. Federal authorities froze assets, recovered $12 million, and restructured local government oversight. Emergency Administrator Patricia Kim implemented transparency, online records, live-stream meetings, homeowner voting. Families received restitution $31,000 each. Preston returned months later, humbled, proposing to teach free jet ski lessons to local kids with donated equipment, under strict safety and insurance. Mrs. Waverly was honorary director. The program expanded statewide, earning him a college scholarship for community service, not competition. We held the first Pinehurst Freedom Festival on my pier. 300 residents, restored trust, families returning. My father fished beside me, jokes and camaraderie replacing years of distance. The pier became a symbol of community, perseverance, and justice. Veronica? Federal prison, staring at the empire she lost. Preston? Redemption and purpose. Mrs. Waverly? A renewed community life. The HOA reformed. Children laughed where access had been denied. Witness protection wasn't about hiding it, was about confronting corruption, making a visible stand. Years later, the pier remains. Preston now teaches adaptive water sports. The community thrives. I watch from my pier, knowing some battles, especially against greed and entitlement, are worth the risk. Some bridges are meant to stay burned, some lessons inherited. And sometimes, the best use of your skills is simply helping your neighbors reclaim what's theirs. So tell me, if your HOA president tried to steal your property and fund a private empire, would you sit quietly or go nuclear? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Justice, revenge, or clever exposure? You tell me.